Have you ever wondered if there's more to reality than what meets the eye? What if the thoughts you think today are creating your experiences tomorrow? Perhaps you've experienced unexplainable coincidences or felt an invisible connection with others that defies logical explanation. These aren't just random occurrences, they're glimpses into the metaphysical nature of our universe. Welcome to the Book of Metaphysics for Daily Life, where we'll explore how ancient wisdom and universal principles can transform your everyday existence. This audiobook bridges the gap between abstract philosophical concepts and practical applications, giving you tools to harness the power of metaphysical understanding for a more meaningful, purposeful, and harmonious life. Metaphysics isn't just for philosophers or spiritual seekers meditating on mountaintops. It's for anyone who wants to understand the deeper currents that shape our lives. Whether you're facing challenges in relationships, seeking greater abundance, or simply yearning for more meaning, metaphysical principles offer practical solutions that work with the fundamental laws of the universe. By the end of our journey together, you'll have gained insights on manifestation, energy awareness, consciousness expansion, and creating positive change in all areas of your life. You'll understand how to recognize the unseen forces that influence your reality and, more importantly, how to work with them consciously to create the life you truly desire. The wisdom contained within these chapters isn't new, it's been explored by countless traditions throughout human history. What makes this approach unique is how we'll translate these timeless truths into practical daily applications that yield tangible results. Are you ready to see beyond the surface of reality and tap into your power as a conscious creator? Then let's begin our exploration of metaphysics for daily life. Chapter 1: Foundations of Metaphysical Thinking. Imagine standing on a beach, watching waves crash against the shore. What you see are the waves, the physical manifestation of energy, but beneath that visible movement lies the vast, quiet depth of the ocean itself. This relationship between the seen and unseen parallels the foundational principle of metaphysics. What we perceive with our physical senses is merely the surface expression of a deeper reality. Metaphysics, in its simplest definition, is the study of the nature of reality beyond what can be measured by conventional science. It examines the basic structure of existence and provides a framework for understanding the deeper nature of reality that goes beyond superficial appearances. The word itself comes from the Greek meta, meaning beyond, and physika, meaning physics, literally, beyond the physical. Throughout history, metaphysical inquiry has taken many forms. Ancient Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle pondered questions about the nature of being and reality. Eastern traditions like Buddhism and Taoism developed sophisticated systems for understanding consciousness and energy. Indigenous cultures worldwide recognize the interconnectedness of all life and the presence of unseen forces. Even modern quantum physics has begun to confirm what metaphysical thinkers have suggested for millennia, that reality is far more fluid, interconnected, and consciousness-dependent than previously believed. But why does this matter in your daily life? Because adopting a metaphysical perspective transforms ordinary perceptions and experiences. When you understand that physical reality emerges from consciousness rather than the other way around, you begin to recognize your role as a co-creator rather than a passive recipient of circumstances. This shift in perception is empowering. It places the tools for change directly in your hands. To begin applying metaphysical thinking in your daily life, start by questioning your assumptions about reality. When you encounter a situation, ask yourself, what's happening beneath the surface here? What beliefs or thought patterns might be creating this experience? Is there another way to interpret this event? By cultivating this habit of looking beyond appearances, you'll develop a metaphysical perspective that reveals new possibilities in every situation. Practice mindful observation throughout your day. Notice how your internal state affects your external experiences. Pay attention to patterns and synchronicities. Each of these observations offers a glimpse into the metaphysical underpinnings of your reality. As you develop this awareness, you'll naturally begin to see beyond the physical world to the creative forces that shape it. Now that we understand what metaphysics is, let's explore one of its fundamental principles, the concept that unifies all existence and forms the foundation for everything we'll discuss moving forward. Chapter 2, The One Presence Principle. A physicist working on the frontier of quantum theory once remarked, "The universe begins to look more like a great thought than a great machine." This insight points toward a profound metaphysical truth. Behind the apparent diversity and separation in our world lies a single, unified field of intelligence and energy, what we might call the One Presence Principle. At the core of metaphysical understanding is the concept that there is only one power and presence in the universe, a force of love and wisdom that underlies all existence. Different traditions have given this presence various names: God, Source, Universal Intelligence, the Absolute, or simply Being. Whatever term resonates with you, the essence remains the same. Everything in existence emerges from and exists within this single creative force. Scientific discoveries increasingly support this metaphysical insight. Physics reveals that at the quantum level, particles that appear separate are actually entangled and connected across space and time. Ecology demonstrates how all living systems exist in delicate interdependence. Even our bodies, seemingly separate and distinct, continuously exchange matter and energy with our environment. The boundaries we perceive are more conceptual than absolute. Understanding divine omnipresence in everyday contexts means recognizing that this unifying force isn't somewhere out there, but is expressing itself as everything, everywhere, including through you. This isn't abstract theology, it's a practical recognition that the same creative intelligence that orchestrates galaxies also flows through your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You are not separate from this presence, you are an individualized expression of it. Recognizing the underlying unity connecting all beings and experiences transforms how you move through the world. When you truly understand that everyone and everything shares the same essential nature, divisions of race, gender, nationality, and even species begin to dissolve. The person who frustrates you at work, the stranger on the street, even the creatures with whom we share this planet, all are diverse expressions of the same unified presence. To apply this principle practically, try this exercise. For one day, approach every person you meet as if they were another version of yourself having a different experience. How does this shift your interactions? Notice how your natural compassion emerges when you recognize shared essence behind apparent differences. In challenging situations, remind yourself, this too is the one presence expressing. This simple recognition can diffuse conflict and open pathways to resolution that might otherwise remain hidden. By recognizing unity behind apparent diversity, you access wisdom and compassion that transcend your individual perspective. With this foundation of unity established, we can now examine how our thoughts interact with this universal presence to shape our lived experience, revealing our role as conscious co-creators in this unified field. Chapter 3, The Power of Thought. In 1952, a young minister was diagnosed with terminal cancer and given just days to live. Refusing to accept this verdict, he began intensely visualizing himself as completely healthy, immersing himself in uplifting books and imagery while rejecting all thoughts of illness. 3 months later, to his doctor's astonishment, no trace of cancer remained in his body. This remarkable case illustrates a fundamental metaphysical principle. Our thoughts are creative forces that determine events and attract experiences, making us co-creators of our reality rather than passive observers. Thoughts are not just electrochemical activities confined to our brains, they generate energetic frequencies that shape our perception and experiences. Every thought you think sends ripples through the unified field we discussed in the previous chapter, attracting resonant experiences back to you. This isn't wishful thinking but a fundamental mechanism of consciousness that operates whether you're aware of it or not. The process works like this: your thoughts create emotions, which generate measurable electromagnetic fields around your body. These fields interact with the quantum field, influencing the collapse of probability waves into specific outcomes that match your dominant thought patterns. This is the mechanism behind thought manifestation and reality creation, one that modern physics increasingly acknowledges and ancient wisdom traditions have taught for millennia. Research at institutions like HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that our heart's electromagnetic field extends several feet beyond our bodies and changes in measurable ways according to our thoughts and emotions. Other studies in consciousness research show how focused intention can influence random event generators and even biological systems at a distance. The evidence continues to mount. Thought has tangible, measurable effects beyond the confines of our minds. To harness this power consciously, you need practical techniques for thought management. Begin by conducting a thought inventory for one day. Carry a small notebook and record the general nature of your thoughts hourly. Are they predominantly positive or negative? Creative or restrictive? This awareness alone often initiates profound shifts in thinking patterns. Next, practice thought substitution. When you catch yourself in a negative thought loop, consciously replace it with a higher frequency alternative. For example, transform "I never have enough money" into "I'm open to unexpected abundance flowing into my life." This isn't denying reality but choosing which potential reality you wish to energize with your attention. Visualization is another powerful tool. Spend 5 minutes each morning with your eyes closed, vividly imagining your desired outcomes as if they're already happening. Engage all your senses to make the visualization as real as possible, and most importantly, generate the positive emotions that would accompany this reality. These emotions are the magnetic force that draws your vision into physical manifestation. Understanding the power of thought naturally leads us to explore one of its most profound applications: the systematic process through which thoughts create experience, commonly known as the law of attraction. Chapter 4: The Law of Attraction in Practice. A woman I know had been struggling financially for years when she decided to experiment with the principles we're about to discuss. Rather than focusing on her mounting debts, she began consistently visualizing herself living abundantly, feeling gratitude for wealth she hadn't yet manifested. Within 3 months, she received an unexpected job offer that doubled her income. This wasn't mere coincidence, it demonstrated the law of attraction operating as it continuously does in our lives, as we attract circumstances that match our dominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The law of attraction functions on the principle that like attracts like, not just in the electromagnetic world but in consciousness itself. Everything in our universe vibrates at specific frequencies, including our thoughts and emotions. When you maintain a particular thought frequency, you naturally draw experiences of matching vibrations into your life, much as a tuning fork causes another of the same frequency to resonate when placed nearby. This principle stands at the intersection of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science. Quantum physics reveals that subatomic particles exist as probability waves until observed, suggesting that consciousness itself plays a role in determining physical reality. Meanwhile, epigenetics shows how our thoughts and perceptions can literally turn genes on or off, affecting our biological functioning. The evidence increasingly supports what metaphysical teachers have long maintained: our inner states profoundly influence our outer realities. Understanding vibration and frequency is crucial to mastering attraction. Lower vibration emotions like fear, anger, and despair attract matching low-frequency experiences, while higher vibration states like joy, gratitude, and love magnetize positive circumstances. This isn't about denying negative emotions but about consciously choosing which emotional states you predominantly cultivate. To apply this knowledge practically, begin with a vibrational reset each morning. Before checking your phone or engaging with the world, spend 5 minutes in a state of genuine gratitude. Mentally list everything you appreciate, feeling the emotion fully. This simple practice elevates your base frequency for the entire day, making higher vibration experiences more likely. Next, become conscious of what you're inviting into your life through your words. Replace phrases like, "I can't afford that," with, "I'm choosing to direct my resources elsewhere right now." Rather than saying, "I'm afraid this won't work," try, "I'm exploring how this might succeed." These subtle shifts change the frequencies you broadcast to the universe. Create a dedicated attraction space in your home where you display images, objects, and words representing what you're drawing into your life. Visit this space daily, engaging with these items not from a place of lack but from a feeling that they're already manifesting. The emotional resonance you generate during these sessions is the true engine of attraction. Remember that the law of attraction isn't about forcing outcomes through mental effort alone. It's about aligning your entire being, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions with the frequency of what you desire, then allowing the universe to arrange the details of how it comes to you. This balance of focused intention and open receptivity is where the true magic happens. While our conscious thoughts are powerful, there's another level of wisdom accessible to us that can guide our application of these principles with even greater precision and timing. Let's explore the metaphysical significance of intuition and inner guidance. Chapter 5: Intuition and Inner Guidance. During World War II, a British officer suddenly felt an overwhelming urge to order his battalion to move to a different location despite having no logical reason to do so. Minutes after they relocated, a bomb fell precisely where they had been standing, which would have killed them all. This officer's unexplainable prompting saved dozens of lives and illustrates the remarkable power of intuition, our internal guidance system that connects us to deeper wisdom and can help navigate life's complexities with greater ease and clarity. Intuition operates beyond the limits of logical reasoning. While your rational mind processes information sequentially based on known data, intuition accesses a field of knowing that transcends time and space constraints. It's your direct line to the universal intelligence we discussed earlier, a way of receiving guidance that often arrives as sudden knowing, physical sensations, symbolic images, or emotional shifts. Neuroscience offers intriguing insights into this phenomenon. Research shows that our bodies often register responses to events seconds before they occur, suggesting that our intuitive systems can access information beyond our conscious awareness. Studies of expert decision-makers across fields find they often rely on intuitive pattern recognition that outperforms purely analytical approaches. What metaphysics has long maintained, science increasingly confirms: intuition is a valid, sophisticated information-gathering system. One of the greatest challenges in working with intuition is distinguishing between genuine intuitive guidance and fear-based thinking masquerading as intuition. True intuition typically arrives with a sense of calm certainty, even when its message is challenging. It feels expansive rather than contractive. Fear-based thoughts, by contrast, generally create anxiety, pressure, and a sense of constriction. Learning to recognize this qualitative difference is essential for developing reliable intuitive guidance. To recognize and interpret intuitive nudges effectively, start by creating space for them to emerge. Our modern lives are so filled with noise and stimulation that subtle intuitive signals often go unnoticed. Begin with a daily practice of 5 minutes of complete silence, no music, no guided meditation, just quiet receptivity. Notice what arises in this space without judgment or analysis. Over time, you'll become more attuned to intuition's quiet voice. Pay particular attention to recurring patterns. Does a certain person keep coming to mind? Are you repeatedly drawn to a particular book, location, or idea? These patterns often contain important intuitive guidance. Similarly, notice your immediate bodily response when considering different options. A feeling of lightness and expansion often indicates alignment with your highest path. To strengthen your intuitive abilities, maintain a simple intuition journal. Each morning, write down any intuitive impressions about the day ahead. In the evening, review what actually occurred and note any correlations. This practice not only builds your intuitive muscles but also develops your confidence in this natural capacity. Remember that intuition thrives when approached with playful curiosity rather than demanding perfection. Treat each intuitive experiment as valuable feedback rather than a test to pass or fail. This light-hearted approach paradoxically produces more reliable results than pressured striving for accuracy. As we develop our inner awareness, we naturally become more conscious of energy dynamics in our relationships, the subtle but powerful exchanges that affect our well-being in ways most people never recognize. Chapter 6: Energy Awareness in Relationships. Have you ever left a conversation feeling inexplicably drained, as if your very life force had been depleted? Or perhaps you've experienced the opposite, an interaction that left you feeling energized, inspired, and more fully alive? These experiences reflect the metaphysical reality that all relationships involve energy exchanges that affect our well-being, and understanding these dynamics allows for healthier, more conscious connections. From a metaphysical perspective, each person generates and maintains their own energy field, sometimes called the aura or biofield. When we interact with others, these fields intermingle and exchange information and energy. This exchange happens whether we're conscious of it or not, explaining why certain people leave us feeling uplifted while others seem to deplete our reserves, regardless of what was actually said or done. Research in bioenergetics and interpersonal neurobiology supports this understanding. Studies show that our nervous systems entrain with one another during interactions, our heart rhythms synchronize when in proximity, and we continuously exchange electromagnetic information. What metaphysics has described as energy transfer, science now measures as tangible bioenergetic exchanges. Recognizing energy patterns in various relationships is the first step toward managing these dynamics consciously. Start by conducting an energy audit of your relationships. After each significant interaction today, note how you feel energetically. Did your vitality increase or decrease? Did you feel clearer or more confused? These simple observations reveal the energetic impact of different relationships in your life. Pay special attention to recurring patterns. Do certain topics of conversation always leave you drained? Are there specific people with whom you consistently feel misaligned, regardless of your efforts? These patterns often indicate fundamental energy incompatibilities that may require adjusted boundaries rather than forced harmony. Establishing healthy energetic boundaries is essential for maintaining your well-being in a world of constant energy exchange. Visualize your personal energy field as a permeable membrane surrounding your body, one that you can adjust to be more or less receptive depending on the situation. Before entering environments with challenging energy dynamics, imagine this field becoming more selective, allowing positive influences in while filtering out draining elements. For immediate energy protection in difficult interactions, try the bubble of light technique. Mentally surround yourself with a sphere of golden or white light that allows your positive energy to radiate outward while preventing unwanted energies from entering your field. This simple visualization creates a psychoenergetic boundary that many find remarkably effective in maintaining their energetic sovereignty. To clear negative energy from past or ongoing relationships, use the cord-cutting visualization. With eyes closed, imagine any unhealthy energetic connections as cords extending from your body to others. See yourself lovingly cutting these cords with a beam of light, allowing both parties to reclaim their full energy. Follow this by envisioning healing light filling any spaces where these connections were attached. Remember that energy awareness in relationships isn't about judgment or avoidance but about conscious management of these natural exchanges. By understanding and working skillfully with relationship energetics, you create space for authentic connections that enhance rather than deplete your life force. Our relationship with time also has profound metaphysical implications that affect our daily experience in ways few people recognize but everyone feels. Let's explore how metaphysical perspectives on time can transform your experience of life's journey. Chapter 7: The Metaphysics of Time. A meditation teacher once asked his anxious student, "What problems do you have right now, not yesterday or tomorrow but in this exact moment?" After reflection, the student realized that in the precise present, he had no problems at all. His anxiety existed only in thoughts about the past and future. This realization illustrates a profound metaphysical truth: our perception of time is subjective and malleable, and metaphysical perspectives on time can free us from limitation and stress. Time, as we commonly experience it, appears to flow linearly from past to future through the present moment. Yet both ancient wisdom traditions and modern physics suggest this perception is incomplete. Einstein's relativity theories prove that time is not absolute but relative to the observer's reference frame. Quantum physics reveals phenomena like entanglement, where particles instantaneously affect each other regardless of distance, suggesting deeper connections beyond conventional time constraints. These scientific insights align with metaphysical understandings that present several models of time. The linear model past, present, future is just one perspective. Many traditions also recognize cyclical time, where patterns repeat at different scales, from daily cycles to cosmic epochs. Perhaps most radical is the concept of the eternal now, the understanding that only the present moment truly exists, with past and future as mental constructs created within this now. This isn't merely philosophical speculation, it has profound practical implications. When you realize that your experience of time shapes your perception of possibilities, limitations, and even your identity, you gain the power to relate to time more consciously and beneficially. The practice of present moment awareness forms the foundation of temporal mastery. Begin with a simple exercise. Several times daily, pause for 30 seconds and bring your full attention to your immediate sensory experience. Notice sounds, bodily sensations, and visual details without narrative or judgment. This brief practice interrupts the mind's habitual time traveling and anchors you in the only moment where life actually happens now. For most people, anxiety about time manifests as either regret about the past or worry about the future. To transcend past-oriented distress, try the timeline reimagining technique. Visualize your life timeline extending behind you, and see challenging past events surrounded by healing light. Acknowledge that these events exist only as present-moment memories that you can reframe and integrate rather than fixed realities that define you. For future-oriented anxiety, practice the multiple futures visualization. Rather than seeing a single predetermined future path, imagine multiple possible futures branching from this present moment. This simple shift from linear to quantum thinking reduces anxiety by revealing the spaciousness of possibility inherent in each present moment. Perhaps the most liberating temporal practice is what philosophers call the view from above, mentally stepping outside linear time to glimpse your life from a perspective beyond conventional time frames. From this vantage point, you might see how challenges that seem overwhelming in the moment often serve as catalysts for growth and transformation when viewed from a wider temporal perspective. By consciously working with your perception of time, you can transcend the artificial limitations of linear thinking and access the expansive freedom that exists beyond conventional temporal boundaries. This freedom doesn't remove you from practical engagement with chronological time but rather allows you to dance with it more gracefully, using it as a tool rather than being constrained by it. Just as we exist in time, we also occupy space, which has its own metaphysical properties that influence our consciousness and experiences in profound ways. Chapter 8: Space and Environment as Energy Fields. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt uncomfortable without knowing why? Or perhaps you've entered a sacred space, a temple, cathedral, or even a peaceful garden and felt an immediate sense of calm wash over you? These experiences aren't just psychological, they reflect a metaphysical reality that the spaces we inhabit contain energy fields that directly influence our consciousness and well-being. Ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized this truth. Chinese feng shui practitioners have spent thousands of years mapping the energetic properties of spaces. Indigenous cultures worldwide have developed sophisticated methods for creating and maintaining sacred environments. Even modern science is catching up, with research in environmental psychology confirming that our surroundings significantly impact our mental and emotional states. Think about how different environments affect you. A cluttered, chaotic space often creates mental fog and emotional stress. Conversely, an organized, harmonious environment promotes clarity and peace. This isn't merely aesthetic preference, it's an energetic exchange between your personal field and the environment's field. The spaces you inhabit continuously interact with your own energy, either supporting or depleting your vitality. Creating sacred space begins with intention. Before rearranging furniture or buying new decorations, clarify what energy you want the space to embody. Do you need a sanctuary for relaxation? A vibrant area for creativity? A focused environment for productivity? Your clear intention becomes the energetic template for the space. Next, consider the elements that compose your environment. Natural materials, wood, stone, plants carry higher vibrations than synthetic ones. Colors affect us energetically. Blues and greens promote calm, while reds and oranges stimulate energy. Sound shape space dramatically. Consider incorporating gentle water features, wind chimes, or specific music to maintain desired frequencies. For immediate energy clearing, several ancient techniques remain remarkably effective. Sound clearing using bells, singing bowls, or clapping disrupts stagnant energy patterns. Smudging with sacred herbs like sage or Palo Santo shifts the energetic signature of a space. Even opening windows while setting clear intention can release accumulated negative energies. One powerful daily practice is the room blessing technique. Enter each important space in your home and stand in its center. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and visualize pure white or golden light filling the entire area. State your intention for the space aloud. This room is filled with peace and healing energy, or whatever quality you wish to cultivate. This simple ritual, performed regularly, progressively transforms the energetic imprint of your environment. Remember that your home is a living energy system that reflects and affects your consciousness. By working consciously with environmental energies, you create spaces that support your highest expression and well-being. The environments we create become powerful allies in our spiritual evolution when we recognize and work with their metaphysical properties. Our own physical bodies are perhaps the most immediate environment we experience, a sophisticated instrument of consciousness that deserves equal attention and awareness. Chapter 9: The Body as Metaphysical Instrument. A renowned violinist once said that her instrument wasn't the violin she played but her own body, the true source of the music. This insight parallels a profound metaphysical truth. Your physical body is not merely matter but a sophisticated instrument of consciousness and a vehicle for spiritual expression. From a metaphysical perspective, your body exists as a multidimensional system extending beyond physical matter. Ancient traditions like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine have mapped subtle energy systems, chakras, meridians, and nadis that modern instruments cannot detect but that significantly influence physical health and spiritual capacity. These systems form the bridge between consciousness and physical expression. The body-mind-spirit connection functions as an integrated whole rather than separate components. Your thoughts and emotions directly affect your physical state through neuropeptides, chemical messengers that translate mental states into physical responses. Conversely, your physical posture and breathing patterns influence your mental and emotional states. This continuous feedback loop means that transformation at any level, physical, mental, or spiritual, affects the entire system. Somatic awareness, conscious attention to bodily sensations, provides a powerful tool for consciousness expansion. Most people live disconnected from bodily wisdom, missing crucial information and guidance. To develop somatic awareness, try this simple practice. 3 times daily, pause for 1 minute and scan your body from feet to head, noting sensations without judgment. Where do you feel tension? Lightness? Energy blockage? This regular check-in develops your capacity to read the body's subtle messages. Your body constantly communicates through sensation. Physical discomfort often signals energetic imbalance before it manifests as illness. Learning to interpret these signals allows preventative action. For instance, recurring throat tightness might indicate suppressed self-expression, while chronic stomach issues often relate to unprocessed emotions or intuitive knowing that you're unable to stomach. To align physical experience with higher awareness, movement practices like yoga, qigong, and conscious dance are particularly effective. These traditions recognize the body as an energy conduit and use specific movements to clear blockages and enhance flow. Even 5 minutes of mindful stretching daily can significantly improve your body's capacity to channel higher frequencies. The embodiment practice offers another powerful approach. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent. Breathe deeply into your lower abdomen while visualizing universal energy entering through the crown of your head, filling your entire body, and grounding through your feet into the earth. This simple exercise strengthens your body's capacity to channel and sustain higher vibrational energies. Remember that your physical form is the temple through which your spirit experiences this reality. By honoring your body as a metaphysical instrument rather than merely a physical machine, you unlock its remarkable capacity for healing, intuition, and spiritual connection. This perspective transforms everyday physical experiences, eating, moving, resting, into sacred acts of consciousness. This holistic understanding naturally extends to our approach to health and healing, revealing pathways to well-being that transcend conventional medical models. Chapter 10: Metaphysical Approaches to Well-Being. When conventional treatments failed to address her chronic pain, Emma reluctantly visited an energy healer. The practitioner never physically touched her but worked with the energy field surrounding her body. To Emma's astonishment, her pain diminished significantly after just 3 sessions. Her experience illustrates how metaphysical principles offer complementary approaches to health that address the consciousness behind physical conditions and activate natural healing processes. The mind-body connection in health and illness operates through multiple channels. Research in psychoneuroimmunology confirms that your thoughts and emotions directly influence your immune function through biochemical pathways. Studies show that chronic stress suppresses immune response, while positive emotional states enhance it. From a metaphysical perspective, this connection extends further. Your consciousness creates patterns that eventually manifest as physical conditions. Every physical symptom carries a message about consciousness. Headaches often reflect mental overload or resistance to certain thoughts. Respiratory issues frequently connect to grief or difficulty receiving life energy. Digestive problems commonly relate to processing experiences and emotions. By addressing the consciousness pattern behind symptoms, metaphysical healing facilitates transformation at the causal level rather than merely managing effects. Energy healing modalities work with the subtle anatomy that precedes physical manifestation. Traditions like Reiki, quantum healing, and pranic healing recognize that disturbances in the energy field eventually materialize as physical symptoms. By restoring harmonious energy flow, these approaches support the body's innate healing intelligence. Skeptical? Consider that numerous hospitals now incorporate these modalities as complementary treatments due to consistently positive outcomes. The placebo effect, often dismissed as just psychological, actually demonstrates a profound metaphysical principle: consciousness influences physical reality. Studies show placebos can produce up to 30% improvement in conditions ranging from pain to Parkinson's symptoms without any active chemical ingredients. This isn't a quirk to control for in studies but evidence of consciousness directly affecting physical processes. To create an integrated approach to well-being that honors all dimensions of being, start with the daily energetic hygiene practice. Each morning, take 5 minutes to scan your energy field, noticing any areas of density, discomfort, or imbalance. Using visualization, direct golden white light to these areas, intending restoration of optimal function. This simple practice strengthens your energy field and addresses imbalances before they manifest physically. For existing conditions, try the consciousness inquiry technique. In a quiet moment, ask, what message does this symptom carry? What shift in consciousness might support healing? Record insights without judgment and look for patterns. Often, physical symptoms resolve when their underlying message is received and addressed. Remember that metaphysical approaches complement rather than replace appropriate medical care. The most effective healing integrates multiple modalities: conventional medicine addressing physical symptoms, while metaphysical practices transform the consciousness patterns from which those symptoms emerge. This integrated approach honors the multidimensional nature of human experience and accesses healing resources at every level of being. Our emotional life is another area where metaphysical understanding offers profound transformation, revealing the energy dynamics beneath our feelings and how to work with them consciously. Chapter 11: The Alchemy of Emotional Transformation. During a devastating breakup, Michael found himself overwhelmed by grief. Instead of suppressing his emotions as he'd done throughout his life, he remembered a metaphysical teaching: emotions are energy in motion. He began sitting with his grief daily, breathing into it without resistance. Gradually, the heavy emotion transmuted into compassion, first for himself, then extending to others. This experience illustrates the alchemical process through which challenging feelings can become catalysts for spiritual growth. Emotions, from a metaphysical perspective, are not just psychological responses but energetic states with specific frequencies and signatures. Anger vibrates differently than peace. Anxiety has a distinct energetic pattern from confidence. These emotional energies flow through your field, affecting your physical body, mental clarity, and manifestation ability. Understanding emotions as energy rather than just feelings gives you new tools for working with emotional states. The metaphysical nature of emotional states explains why emotions are contagious. You're literally sensing others' emotional frequencies. It also explains why sustained emotional states eventually manifest as physical conditions or external circumstances. The emotion of chronic worry creates a specific frequency that attracts matching experiences while simultaneously affecting your physical systems, particularly the nervous and immune functions. For effective emotional processing and release, the container meditation offers a powerful approach. Visualize creating a sacred container, perhaps a beautiful bowl or chest of light. Allow yourself to fully feel a challenging emotion, then visualize placing it in this container. Watch as divine light transforms the energy. This practice honors emotions without being controlled by them, recognizing their transformative potential. The emotional alchemy technique takes this further. When experiencing a difficult emotion, identify its precise quality and location in your body. Breathe into this area while asking, what higher quality is trying to emerge through this challenge? Anger often transforms into boundary-setting power. Fear frequently transmutes into heightened awareness. Grief commonly alchemizes into compassion. By recognizing these relationships, you accelerate emotional transformation. Using emotions as gateways to higher awareness is a cornerstone of spiritual development. Strong emotions crack open the shell of ordinary consciousness, creating opportunities to access deeper truth. When intense emotion arises, try asking, what does this feeling want me to understand? What aspect of myself is seeking recognition? These questions transform emotional triggers into invitations for expanded awareness. The practice of emotional tracking develops your capacity for conscious emotional navigation. Each evening, review your significant emotional shifts throughout the day without judgment. Notice what triggered each shift and how emotions moved through you. Over time, you'll recognize patterns and develop greater facility with emotional energy, allowing you to work consciously with these powerful forces rather than being unconsciously driven by them. Remember that emotional mastery doesn't mean eliminating certain emotions but developing the ability to alchemize all emotional energies into fuel for spiritual growth. As we master our emotional states, we become more effective conscious creators, able to maintain the coherent frequencies necessary for deliberate manifestation. Chapter 12, Conscious Creation and Manifestation. After years of struggling financially, Sarah discovered metaphysical principles of manifestation. Rather than focusing on her lack, she began visualizing abundance with emotional intensity while taking aligned action. Within months, an unexpected opportunity emerged that doubled her income. Her experience demonstrates that conscious creation is the art of bringing desires from thought into physical reality through aligned action, clear intention, and energetic coherence. The metaphysical process of manifestation follows a specific sequence from idea to form. First comes thought, the conception of possibility. This thought, when charged with emotion, becomes a vibrational template in the quantum field. Sustained focus on this template, combined with aligned action, eventually materializes as physical reality. This process mirrors how the universe itself operates, consciousness preceding and shaping physical expression. Quantum physics offers fascinating support for this understanding. At the subatomic level, particles exist as probability waves until observed, suggesting that consciousness itself influences how energy manifests as matter. The famous double-slit experiment demonstrates that the mere act of observation changes how particles behave. From a metaphysical perspective, your consciousness similarly influences how energy patterns materialize in your life experience. Common blocks to manifestation include contradictory beliefs, misaligned emotional states, and incongruent actions. If you visualize abundance while feeling unworthy, these contradictory frequencies cancel each other. If you affirm health while engaging in self-destructive behaviors, this incongruence prevents manifestation. Effective creation requires alignment across all dimensions: thought, feeling, belief, and action. To overcome these blocks, the belief excavation practice is invaluable. For any area where manifestation seems blocked, ask yourself, what would I have to believe for this situation to be true? Write down all beliefs that emerge, then question each one. Is this actually true? Where did I learn this belief? Does it serve my highest good? This process reveals and releases hidden beliefs that contradict your conscious intentions. The Manifestation Coherence Framework provides a step-by-step approach for conscious creation. Begin with clarity. Define precisely what you're creating, focusing on the essence rather than specific form. Move to resonance. Generate and sustain the feeling state of already having your desire fulfilled. Proceed to alignment. Ensure your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions support your intention. Finally, practice surrender. Release attachment to specific outcomes while maintaining faith in the perfect unfolding of your desire. Energetic frequency maintenance is crucial throughout the manifestation process. Each morning and evening, spend 5 minutes aligning your energy with your desired creation. Visualize it as already manifested, generate authentic gratitude, and feel the associated emotions fully. Throughout the day, when contrary thoughts or feelings arise, gently return to this aligned state. This consistent frequency management dramatically accelerates manifestation. Remember that conscious creation isn't about forcing the universe to deliver your wishes, but about aligning yourself with the natural creative process through which all things come into being. As we become more conscious creators, we start noticing meaningful patterns in our experiences that confirm our co-creative relationship with the universe. Chapter 13: Synchronicity and Meaningful Coincidence. Just as David was wondering whether to accept a job offer in another city, he ran into an old friend who, without knowing his dilemma, mentioned she had just relocated there and loved it. Later that day, he noticed a magazine article about that city's growing opportunities in his field. These seemingly unrelated events formed a pattern of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal the interconnected nature of reality and often provide guidance for our journey. Synchronicity, a term coined by psychologist Carl Jung, describes meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained by cause and effect but reveal underlying patterns and connections. From a metaphysical perspective, synchronicities demonstrate that we live in an intelligent, responsive universe where consciousness and external events are interwoven. These events often occur at critical decision points, offering guidance when we're most receptive. Understanding synchronicity as communication from the universe requires recognizing that reality isn't random but patterned according to meaning rather than just causality. The universe speaks through symbols, parallel events, and meaningful timing, especially when you're contemplating important life directions. These communications often address your questions before you even verbalize them, confirming the intimate connection between your consciousness and the larger field of intelligence. Scientific perspectives on synchronicity include theories from quantum physics about non-local connections and entanglement phenomena where particles instantaneously affect each other regardless of distance. Some researchers propose that synchronicities reflect our participation in a holographic universe where every part contains information about the whole. While mechanisms remain theoretical, the phenomenon itself is widely experienced across cultures and throughout history. To recognize and interpret synchronistic events, develop synchronicity awareness through daily practice. Each evening, review your day, noting any coincidences, patterns, or meaningful timing of events. Ask yourself, what message might these connections contain? How do they relate to my current life questions? Over time, you'll develop fluency in reading this subtle language of the universe. Pay special attention to recurring themes or symbols. If 3 different people mention the same book to you within a short period, that's likely significant. Notice when unexpected obstacles arise repeatedly. These may indicate a needed course correction. Similarly, when doors open effortlessly, this often signals alignment with your optimal path. Learning to distinguish between random events and meaningful synchronicity takes practice but becomes increasingly natural with attention. Using synchronicity as confirmation and guidance involves maintaining a balance between alertness and non-attachment. While actively noticing patterns, avoid forcing interpretations or becoming fixated on signs. The synchronicity journaling practice supports this balance. Record significant coincidences without immediately interpreting them. After collecting several instances, look for overarching patterns and messages. This approach prevents premature conclusions while honoring the subtle guidance being offered. Remember that synchronicities often become more frequent when you're aligned with your authentic path. These meaningful coincidences serve as confirmation that you're in dialogue with the intelligent universe, co-creating rather than struggling alone. These synchronistic events often guide us toward alignment with our higher nature, revealing the wisdom that transcends our everyday perspective. Chapter 14: The Higher Self and Daily Decisions. During a challenging career transition, Lisa found herself torn between two opportunities. Unable to decide through logical analysis alone, she began a practice of connecting with her higher wisdom each morning. During one session, she received a clear knowing about which path would serve her deepest purpose. Following this guidance led to unexpected fulfillment that her analytical mind couldn't have predicted. Her experience illustrates how connecting with your higher self, the divine spark within you, provides guidance for making choices that align with your deepest purpose and greatest good. The higher self represents your most expanded consciousness, the aspect of you that exists beyond ego limitations and sees from a broader perspective. Various metaphysical traditions describe this differently, some as the soul or Atman, others as the divine spark or the I Am presence. Whatever terminology resonates with you, this higher aspect holds wisdom that transcends your personal history and limited perspective, offering guidance aligned with your ultimate growth and purpose. Scientific research on intuition, flow states, and transpersonal experiences provides interesting parallels to this metaphysical concept. Studies show that during meditative states and peak experiences, brain activity shifts from the default mode network to more integrated functioning. This corresponds with subjective experiences of expanded awareness, reduced self-consciousness, and access to knowledge that seems to come from beyond the individual mind. Techniques for strengthening connection with your higher wisdom begin with creating receptive states. The higher self-dialogue practice offers a simple approach. Sit in meditation posture and imagine stepping into your wisest, most expanded self. Feel the qualities of this consciousness, perhaps peace, clarity, compassion, and expanded perspective. From this state, pose your questions and listen without expectation. Responses may come as words, images, physical sensations, or simply knowing. Regular connection rituals strengthen this relationship. Each morning before engaging with external demands, spend 5 minutes in silent communion with your higher self. Simply acknowledge this presence and invite its guidance throughout your day. This brief practice establishes a frequency of connection that makes higher wisdom more accessible when needed for important decisions. For applying higher guidance to practical daily decisions, the 3 centers check-in provides a balanced approach. When facing a choice, check 3 sources: your head, logical analysis; your heart, emotional resonance; and your gut, intuitive knowing. Then consult your higher self, asking which option most serves your soul's growth and purpose. This comprehensive method integrates all your wisdom sources rather than relying on limited perspective. The higher alignment question technique offers another practical tool. When considering an option, ask, does this choice align with my highest expression and greatest service? Notice both your mental response and your body's reaction. Expansion, lightness, and energy typically indicate alignment, while contraction, heaviness, and depletion suggest misalignment. This simple practice keeps daily choices connected to your broader purpose. Remember that your higher self doesn't override your free will but offers expanded perspective for your decisions. The relationship is collaborative rather than controlling. By regularly consulting this wisdom, you progressively align your everyday choices with your soul's purpose, creating a life that expresses your deepest truth and highest potential. Finally, let's explore how to integrate all these principles into a coherent metaphysical lifestyle. Chapter 15: Creating a Metaphysical Lifestyle. After learning various metaphysical principles, James wondered how to incorporate them into his busy life as a business executive and parent. Rather than compartmentalizing his spiritual practice, he began integrating awareness into everyday moments, bringing mindfulness to meetings, seeing challenging colleagues as reflections for growth, and creating family rituals that honored the sacred in ordinary life. His experience demonstrates that true metaphysical understanding requires not just knowledge but consistent application through daily practices and awareness. Creating a metaphysical lifestyle means recognizing that spiritual practice isn't separate from daily life but infuses every moment with greater consciousness. This integrated approach transforms ordinary experiences, cooking dinner, commuting to work, interacting with others, into opportunities for presence, alignment, and growth. The goal isn't perfection but progressively increasing the percentage of your day lived with metaphysical awareness. Simple daily rituals provide anchors for metaphysical practice. The morning consciousness alignment takes just 3 minutes. Upon waking, before engaging with devices or activities, sit at the edge of your bed and set conscious intention for the day. Visualize yourself moving through upcoming activities with awareness, compassion, and alignment. This brief ritual creates an energetic template that influences your entire day. The sacred pause practice integrates awareness throughout your day. Set a gentle alarm to ring randomly 3 times daily. When it sounds, pause whatever you're doing for 30 seconds. Take a conscious breath, reconnect with your body, and remember your essential nature beyond roles and activities. This simple pattern interrupt prevents unconscious momentum and refreshes your metaphysical perspective regardless of external circumstances. Adapting metaphysical principles to various life situations requires understanding core principles rather than rigid techniques. The principle of conscious creation applies whether you're preparing a meal, raising children, or leading a business meeting. Maintaining clear intention and aligned energy while taking appropriate action. The principle of energy awareness functions in corporate boardrooms as effectively as meditation retreats, noticing and working with the subtle energies present in any environment. Creating a personalized practice that honors your unique path involves recognizing that metaphysical development isn't one-size-fits-all. Some people connect most deeply through movement, others through stillness, some through nature immersion, others through creative expression. Experiment with various approaches, noticing which practices most effectively shift your consciousness and sustain your connection with deeper reality. The integration reflection helps customize your metaphysical lifestyle. Each week, review which principles you're successfully incorporating and which need attention. Ask yourself, what metaphysical truth am I currently most drawn to embody? What daily practice would support this embodiment? Listen for guidance about your next growth area rather than trying to perfect all principles simultaneously. Remember that creating a metaphysical lifestyle isn't about adding more tasks to your schedule but about bringing greater consciousness to what you already do. By progressively infusing ordinary moments with awareness, you transform your entire life into a spiritual practice, one where the boundaries between sacred and mundane dissolve, revealing the extraordinary nature of everyday existence. As we conclude our exploration of metaphysics for daily life, let's integrate these principles into a coherent framework for ongoing transformation. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored how metaphysical principles can transform ordinary experiences into opportunities for growth, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. From understanding the energetic nature of environments to recognizing the body as a spiritual instrument, from transforming emotional states to creating consciously with universal forces, these principles offer a comprehensive framework for living with greater awareness and purpose. We've seen that metaphysics isn't just abstract philosophy but a practical approach to everyday challenges. The principles we've explored apply equally to improving relationships, enhancing health, making life decisions, and creating desired circumstances. By understanding the energetic and conscious foundations of reality, you gain access to levels of causation beyond the physical, allowing more effective engagement with life's challenges and opportunities. The insights in this audiobook draw from ancient wisdom traditions, contemporary metaphysical teachings, and emerging scientific research. This convergence of perspectives confirms what seekers have known for millennia, that reality is fundamentally conscious, interconnected, and responsive to our inner states. The increasing scientific validation of these principles doesn't replace traditional wisdom but enhances our understanding of how these metaphysical laws operate. As you integrate these principles into your life, remember that implementation matters more than information. Rather than trying to perfect all practices simultaneously, start with one principle that resonates most deeply with your current life situation. Practice it consistently for at least 30 days before adding another. This progressive approach builds a solid foundation for sustainable transformation rather than temporary inspiration. The practices we've explored, from energy clearing techniques to emotional alchemy, from higher self-connection to conscious creation, provide practical tools for this implementation. These aren't rigid prescriptions but flexible frameworks that you can adapt to your unique circumstances and preferences. The most effective practice is the one you'll actually do consistently. Remember that you are a divine being having a human experience. The challenges and limitations you encounter aren't punishments or failures but opportunities for consciousness expansion and spiritual growth. By applying metaphysical principles to these challenges, you participate consciously in your own evolution while contributing to the elevation of collective consciousness. Your journey with metaphysics doesn't end with the conclusion of this audiobook but continues with each conscious choice, each moment of awareness, each application of these principles to daily challenges. The universe itself becomes your ongoing teacher as you develop greater sensitivity to its subtle communications and responsiveness to your conscious participation. May your path forward be illuminated by the understanding that you are not separate from the creative forces that shape reality but an integral part of them. By living metaphysical principles, you claim your rightful role as a conscious co-creator in the magnificent unfolding of existence itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Book of Metaphysics for Daily Life. We've explored powerful principles that can transform your experience from ordinary to extraordinary through increased awareness and conscious participation with universal laws. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please subscribe to Audiobook's library for more transformational content. Until next time, may your journey be filled with awareness, joy, and purpose. Remember that each moment offers a new opportunity to apply metaphysical understanding and create a life aligned with your highest vision. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your transformational journey.